So we're going to go ahead and start standing. And that means just finding a comfortable place. Actually, let's start with our feet a little bit wider. I'm going to point out a couple of things here for us. So nice wide stance. And just start to get grounded through the feet. Maybe wiggle the toes a little bit until you feel solid in all parts of the feet. And just listen to your breath. Maybe take a few deep breaths if you need to get settled. You can breathe in and out through the nose or in through the nose and out through the mouth, whatever's most helpful right now. And then once you feel fully in touch with that support underneath you, and just slowly roll the shoulders back a few times. I'm going to spend a little more time getting centered, but just kind of working out everything that might be keeping us from settling into the breath. And notice the tendency of your shoulders to make big circles or small ones, or really tense ones or loose ones. Anything's okay, just notice. When you're ready, just release, maybe reach right and left down towards the floor a couple of times, shake it out, whatever you need. And then if it's comfortable, let's bring one hand to the chest, one to the belly, and just take a moment to tune in. Seeing if we can just settle in to ourselves without judgment for a moment. Relying on that sense of stability through our legs and our feet. Once you've had a chance to notice the breath as it is right now, if you'd like to make some changes, maybe lengthening the exhale a little bit, or maybe you're feeling a little sluggish and want to breathe in a little more than you breathe out, just to bring some energy to the body. Listen to what you need in this moment. The most important thing is to find a way of breathing that feels natural and unstrained right now, helpful, not a distraction. You might even use the hands as reminders of where to focus your intention in your breath. And once the body feels like it's settling in a little bit, then go ahead and release the arms slowly, but maintain that sense of stability, connection, grounding. And whenever you're ready, begin to heel toe the feet in toward each other. We're going to bring them all the way in together, just so we can notice for a moment the difference in how it feels to stand with the feet wide and how it feels to stand with the feet close together. Noticing sensation in the body, what changes when the feet are close together. In no hurry, but when you're ready, just find a place somewhere in between where you feel nice and solid, but at the same time feel a little bit of freedom to move, because we'll be swaying a little bit from right to left here in a moment. So with the feet wide, sometimes we're a little bit restricted in our movement. So let's find a mountain pose somewhere in between. And then just beginning to slowly shift the weight from left to right or right to left. It doesn't really matter. Noticing that really subtle shift of sensation from one leg to the other. It might even help to pause briefly on one side before shifting to the other side. But if you need more of a sense of rhythm tonight, then feel free to just kind of sway back and forth from one side to the other. We'll be doing most of our practice on the floor this evening, but we'll start with a little bit of balance work. So we want to get really connected through our feet before we do that. Whenever you're ready, finding your way to center, feeling equally supported through right and left. And let's take a few deep breaths, using the arms if you like, or you can leave them down by your sides. But let's breathe in. Arms can come up if that's feeling okay for you. And then exhaling when ready, the arms releasing down by our sides. And we'll do 2 or 3 more of these, each of us in our own time, our own rhythm. Maybe allowing for that slight pause at each end of the breath. Wherever you are, one more breath in. And after the exhale, once the arms are back down by your sides, and bringing the hands together at the center of the chest, heart center, palm to palm, and press gently one palm into the other. And feel that sensation all the way up through the wrists, the forearms, the upper arms, maybe even into the shoulders a little bit. And release just enough of that pressure to still feel connected without the tension. If your eyes are wandering a little bit today, this evening, then maybe find something to focus the gaze on. And let's shift our weight into the right leg, just the right leg. Standing nice and tall, feeling sensation from the sole of the foot through the lower leg, the calf, the hip, and then engage the belly a little bit. Notice the breath. How does the breath change? And bringing it back through center, pausing here if you like. When ready, shifting over into the left leg. And once again, noticing sensation through the sole of the foot, the lower leg, the thigh, the hip. Feeling fully supported on this leg. Shifting back through center, releasing the arms, rotating the wrists a few times, breaking the seal through the soles of the feet for just a moment, releasing any tension. Make sure to circle those wrists both ways. And then when you're ready, come back to mountain. Let's just stand in mountain for a moment. Breathing, reconnecting, and then bringing our hands back to heart center. And shifting slowly into the right leg, finding those sensations that tell us that we are fully supported here. And when you're ready, just begin to lift that left heel. If you're using the chair, feel free to place your hands on the back of the chair for extra support if you like. We'll open that left knee out to the side, bringing the heel to rest against the ankle. Notice any sensation that changes, maybe a little wobbly in the right ankle. It's all good. Just notice. You can step down with that left foot at any time that you like. Then bringing our left knee forward, returning to mountain, releasing the arms for a moment, opening and closing the hands a few times. And feeling that sensation through the hands up the arms, then releasing all that tension. Bringing hands back to heart center. Shifting into the left leg and finding that support for a moment. And just whenever you're ready, letting that right heel lift. Getting steady here before turning the knee out to the side and sliding the heel to the ankle. This is our low tree. And just finding balance here in low tree for a moment. Breathing steady. Releasing our right knee forward and then lowering the heel, returning to mountain. And just shifting a little bit from side to side, releasing tension through the legs. We'll do one more round on each side with options for the legs and for the arms. What we just did, you can stay with if that's what you need today. Coming back to center, finding that connection through the feet, hands coming together at heart center. Finding steadiness here in mountain first. Noticing breath. When ready, shifting over into the right leg. Letting the left heel lift, opening the knee out, sliding it in, and you can stay right here, maybe just changing the arms a little bit, or you can lift that foot to whatever version of tree you'd like to practice, just making sure to keep the foot off of the knee. It needs to be on the calf or above into the inner thigh. So wherever you want to stay. And then maybe even find some different arm expression. We'll just stay here for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing the arms all the way down, returning to mountain. Adding any movement that helps release tension. And then find stillness for a few breaths. If you like, you can place your hands on your heart or heart and belly if that helps you connect with the heartbeat and the breath. Just notice in stillness for a moment. And whenever you're ready, shifting the weight over into the left leg, bringing hands back to the chest. And finding your expression of tree on this side. Remembering that you have lots of options. Choose your options based on what you need in this practice. Because it can change from practice to practice, it usually does. Remembering to focus the eyes and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing, returning to mountain. And if your count of 5s was actually a count of 1 or 2, that's okay. Sometimes we just come out of it and get back in, or we just come out of it and stay. So let's roll the shoulders back. Taking 3 breaths with a little leg movement here. So inhaling, arms up. They can come out to the sides or to the front, palms together. Exhaling, bending the knees and just letting the torso tilt forward, hands to thighs. Then rolling up on the inhale. Arms coming all the way up, palms together at the top. And just listen to your own breath for your rhythm. I'm just giving you the cues, but your pace might be slower or faster than mine. We'll do one more of these, just a little bit of loosening through the torso. The next time that we get to the top of our inhale, we'll keep our hands up, palms together. And feet can stay right where they are, or if you Feel better with your hips, you can bring the feet closer together. Then lengthening up through the hands as we shift our hips to the left and lean over to the right. Keeping our chest nice and open, pressing down through the inner edge of that left foot and breathing. Coming back to center, releasing the arms down. Next breath in, arms come back up, palms together. Letting our hips shift to the right, reaching up and over to the left. Pressing down gently through the inner edge of that right foot to anchor and breathing. And when ready, inhale back to center and just let those arms come out. Step the feet back into a comfortable mountain. As we prepare to come down to our seat, we have the option of adding a downward dog. I'm going to turn sideways just so it looks a little bit easier to tell what's happening here. You can follow David if you're using the chair and want to do your downward dog before coming to your seat. So inhaling, arms come up if you're standing or even if you're using the chair. Exhale, fold forward. And then we're going to step back one leg at a time or come to the knees first. Sometimes that's easier. Plant the palms and lift the hips, coming into a downward facing dog. Lifting those sitting bones up toward the ceiling. The knees can be as bent as they need to be. You can bend them a lot if that helps. Let's just focus on keeping the spine nice and long. And at any time that this is not good for you or comfortable, you can come all the way down to hands and knees into a child's pose, or if you're using the chair, just come to your seat. But feel free to keep that downward dog for just a couple more breaths if you like. Just reversing blood flow a little bit. And then let's all come down to tabletop, down to our hands and knees. And this is a good place if you want a little extra cushion to place a blanket under your knees. If you're using the chair, now's the time to come to the chair. Doing a little bit of cat-cow here. So this can be done exactly the same from the floor or the chair. In tabletop, we'll get everything aligned. So we're creating a little box under our body, and the back is nice and long. In the chair, just sitting nice and tall, hands resting on the thighs. And then whenever you're ready, let the belly drop down or forward if you're seated, and open up the front of the body. Inhale. And in the exhale, rounding the back, creating a little curve underneath. And let's continue here for several more rounds. Inhaling and exhaling, cow and cat. 2 or 3 more rounds of this. If you want to change it up a little bit and just do a little side to side, you can. Maybe even circling the torso. Just finding a little movement that releases tension in the back, the hips, the whole torso. Remember, this is your practice, and everything that we do here in guiding your practice is just suggestion. You always have the option to do it differently or to not do it at all. Or just to continue with what you really like, what feels helpful. And with the next breath out, let's settle into child's pose or a forward fold from the chair. In child's pose, the knees can be wide apart or they can be narrow, whatever feels best for you. And just let the hands rest wherever it feels comfortable. And in this resting position, if you feel the need for a little movement here, you can always add movement here as well. But let's really notice the breath. Focusing on the breath, breathing deeply. And then whenever you're ready, coming back up to tabletop or upright, and then making our way to our seat. So I like to place a blanket under my hips. It just helps my back relax a little bit more. Keeping my spine straight is easier when my hips are elevated. So feel free to do that. And then just find an easy pose. And that may mean ankles are stacked or um, they could be crossed on each other, but just find an easy pose for your body. And just settle in here for a moment, finding breath each time we make a transition from one place to the next. We like to settle in here for a moment. Then separating our feet a little bit and bringing the soles of the feet together. And just letting the knees open out in cobbler's pose. From a chair, it may be easier just to bring one leg out to the side and let the knee open up, or to do it just like we're doing here. Whatever works, just finding a little openness through the inner thigh. And then bringing our left leg out to the side into a half straddle, and only as far as if you're on the floor that allows your toes to stay up toward the ceiling. Once you notice the feet rolling back, you may need to adjust just a little bit. With our inhale, the left arm or right arm, sorry, is going to come up overhead. And we're just going to reach over into a nice side bend. For this first one, our chest is open toward the front. I'm holding my foot with my left hand, but you can put that hand wherever it helps you support your torso. Then inhaling back up and just stay here for a moment. Reach up and then release that arm down. Then turning to look at that extended leg, and hand can rest on the thigh or the shin, or again, just on the floor. Inhale the arm up again, right arm up, and reaching up and over, but this time we're gazing at our extended leg, just bringing our gaze beyond the toes. Let's breathe deeply here through the right side of the body. Just notice the difference in sensation when the chest is turned down a little bit and when it was open in the first one. Coming back up on the inhale, releasing. Folding that left leg in front of the right leg and walking them both out a little bit away from the body. So we're creating a little triangle here, a little space. Feet out underneath the knees, just crossing the ankles if you're in the chair. Bringing our arms in front and turning the palms up. Let's bring the right arm on top of the left, just bringing those elbows as close together as you can. Then bending the elbows, creating some eagle wings, and lifting the elbows or the hands up towards the ceiling. You can stay right here, or if it's accessible to you, you can bring those hands and kind of hook them together, but either way is perfect. And just breathe. And let's release the elbows and just give ourselves a big hug. Hands on the shoulders. Maybe tuck the chin for a moment. Lifting back up. And then releasing those legs out in front and just circle the ankles. You can sit tall in staff pose or you can lean back and support yourself on your palms. And let's reverse and circle the other way. Bringing it back to center. If you're leaning back, go ahead and just sit nice and tall. And let's bend that right knee. Hug it in nice and tight. You might even rock back and forth a few times, releasing a little tightness in the hip as you do. And then letting that right foot plant down for a twist. In the chair, you may just feel better keeping both feet on the floor. It's up to you. Inhale nice and tall and exhaling, twisting to the right into a nice closed twist. And just let the head be wherever it's most comfortable. Front, side, back, doesn't matter. Coming back to center, letting that right knee open down to the side for a forward fold. And we'll sit nice and tall and just kind of ease ourselves forward. And again, we're not really trying to get as low as we can. We're focusing on hinging right here from this crease where the torso meets the thighs and keeping the spine long for now. And close your eyes if that's comfortable and just feel the lengthening of the spine with each inhale and the release with each exhale. And when ready, lifting back to center. And we'll slide the soles of the feet together back into our cobbler's pose before repeating that sequence on the other side. Just take a moment to center yourself here for a moment. Feel that connection of the sitting bones to this chair or the floor, whatever is under your seat. And then when ready, opening out the right leg into a half straddle. You can adjust the left foot if you need to. Inhaling, left arm lengthens out and up, and then we reach up and over on the breath out. This first one, our chest is open toward the front. We're really just focused on the left side of the body here. Breathing. And then lifting back up to center and staying here for a moment, just finding length right here in the center. Releasing that left shoulder blade down. If you feel like you're wearing your arm as an earring, just lower it down a little bit. Then let's release that left arm down just for a moment. And turning our gaze toward the extended leg and deciding where we want to place our support with the right hand. Inhaling, left arm back up. This time as we come over, we're going to look at that right foot or toes. Just focusing our attention here. Breathing. You know, you can always come out of these earlier than I suggest at any time. Let's all come back out now. Releasing the arm down. Folding the right foot in front of the left and bringing them away from the body a little bit. Walking the feet out under the knees. And then lifting both arms in front, crossing left elbow on top of right and creating those eagle arms. And lifting a little bit if that feels good. And breathe. Maybe even focus the breath into the upper back, the back ribs. And releasing the elbows down, hands come to the shoulders into a little self hug. You can tuck the chin if you like. Lifting the chin, releasing the arms, extending both of our legs forward or bringing soles of the feet to the floor in the chair. We're just going to point and flex a few times. When ready, hugging the left knee in. You can hug it in tight, maybe rock back and forth a few times if that feels good. It's all about what feels good in your practice, to your body. This is about you and what you need right now. And letting that left foot plant. Sitting nice and tall through the spine. On the exhale, let's twist to the left. And let your head go where it wants. Releasing the shoulders. Easing it back to center when you're ready. And just letting that left knee release down, or like David was doing, crossing the left foot on top of the right thigh. And then just finding a little forward bend here. Lengthening the spine, shifting the hips a little bit so that they're somewhat straight toward the front, but we never want to force them to be a certain way that might compromise the back or other joints. Listen to the messages your body's sending. Just breathe. When ready, coming back up to center, releasing the left leg forward. And just find stillness here for a moment. Legs can be straight, they can be bent, they can be crossed. And then whenever you're ready, if you're going to do your meditation on your back, then now's the time to go ahead and come down onto your back. If you're going to practice from the chair, you can stay right in the chair. But let's find that place where we can begin to settle in. We're going to do a little bit of movement first. If you're on the floor, once you're there, take time to really feel the length of the back against the mat. And maybe even shift the hips a little bit towards the heels. Let the arms be wherever they're comfortable, and let's walk our feet a little wider to the width of the mat. So a lot of times we do what we call a windshield wiper. We're going to do half of that, just focusing on one side at a time. Keeping our right knee right where it is, let's slowly lower the left knee towards the center, towards the midline. Just let that hip lift as it wants to. But keep the right knee where it is so that we can find that place where our left leg wants to naturally stop. And then we'll open the right knee down to the floor. So we're not forcing anything. We're really focusing on what that hip needs before we find our final position. Maybe turn the head towards the left shoulder. And then keeping the left knee where it is, lift that right knee back to the center first, releasing all tension, and then lift the left knee, coming back to center. And when you're ready, slowly let the right knee begin to lower towards the midline, but keep the left knee in place. It's okay if the right hip lifts a little bit. When you find your natural stopping point, open the left knee out to the side as well, easing into that gentle twist. And you can bring your head to the right if that's comfortable. Breathe. And when you're ready to return, bringing that lower leg, the left leg, up first. And then easing the right knee back to center. And let's just bring both knees into the chest and rock from side to side a little bit. So from here, stay on your back. I'm going to sit up and prepare myself to guide you through meditation. But I invite you to do whatever you need to get settled in for this meditation so that you feel completely comfortable. That may mean you need a little extra stretch or you need some gear to help support your body. I'm going to sit up on this blanket here. Might need a little shifting. But take your time and just begin to get settled in for a little bit of complete release and hopefully a little bit of bliss along the way, a little joy along the way. So there's no hurry. We have time. I'd really like to ask you to focus on comfort, finding comfort wherever you are and however you are situated. And once you find your comfort initially, you may find that once the body begins to settle into that place and some of the tension begins to soften, you might find that you need to adjust a little bit to be a little more comfortable, to account for that release, that natural release. So just listen to the body for a moment and see if this is the case for you. And if it is, go ahead and make those adjustments. And then just allow yourself to settle completely into the supports underneath you. Just settle in, noticing the points of contact between your body and that support. And welcome any messengers that arrive during your practice. These messengers could be sensations in the body or some hint of an emotion or thought. Just welcome them with curiosity, staying open and receptive. Just begin to notice any sounds in your environment. Maybe the sounds are outside of your space. Maybe they're inside of your space. Maybe you even notice sounds within your own body. Just notice these sounds for a moment. And if you like, recognizing which ones are external, which ones are internal. And begin to reflect upon your intention for this practice, or just let one naturally arise. Your intention may be just to settle in and be at ease and receive. It may be to inquire into a particular emotion or thought that you've been working with. Whatever your intention, just bring awareness to that for a moment. And feel that intention in your entire body and mind. And as you feel your intention, bring awareness to your deepest heartfelt mission, that longing that comes from deep within of how you would like your life to be expressed. And feel that in your entire body and mind as if it's true right now in this moment. And set it aside and bring awareness to that place within you that allows you to feel completely at rest and at ease, your inner resource. It may help to imagine a place that brings that sense of ease to you. It could be a real place or an imaginary place. Just visualize it. Hear all the sounds. Notice the smells. And notice where it exists in your own body. That sense of complete ease and security. Knowing that you can return here at any time that you need to feel this sense of security and ease. And then allow the sound of my voice to be the sound of your own voice. As we rotate attention through your body, you may feel something or little at all. Whatever you feel is perfect just as it is. Bring awareness to sensations in the mouth, taste in the mouth, sensation in the teeth, the gums, the walls of the mouth, sensation in the jaw, experiencing the entire mouth and jaw as pure sensation. Sensing the left ear, right ear, both ears simultaneously as radiant sensation. Sensing the nose and the nostrils, the warmth of the air as it leaves with each exhale. Sensing the left eye, right eye, both eyes together as pure radiant sensation. Sensing the forehead, scalp, back of the head, neck, the entire head and neck as sensation. Bring attention to sensations in the throat. Sensation moving from the throat into the left shoulder, left arm, left hand and fingers. The entire left arm heavy with sensation. Once again, sensing the throat and bringing awareness from the throat into the right shoulder, right arm, right hand and fingers. The entire right arm heavy with sensation. Bringing awareness back to the throat, sensations in the throat, the upper chest, the upper back, middle chest, middle back, belly, lower back, the entire torso radiating with sensation. Sensing the pelvis, the left hip, left leg, left foot and toes, the entire left hip, leg and foot. Pure radiant sensation. Awareness back to the pelvis, the right hip, right leg, right foot and toes, the entire right hip, leg, and foot. Pure radiant sensation. Sensing both legs together, legs and hips together, legs, hips, and torso, legs, hips, torso, and arms, legs, hips, torso, arms, and head, sensing the entire body as radiant sensation. Attention open to sensation and awareness. Sensing that being, that sense of awareness that you also are, in which all of these changing sensations are coming and going. Be aware of the body breathing itself, the rise and fall of the belly with each inhale and each exhale. Alert, attentive, body breathing itself. Bringing awareness to the left side of the body. Breathing into the left side of the body. Bringing awareness to the right side. Breathing into the right side of the body. Going back and forth a few times, bringing awareness to the left and breathing awareness into the right. And bringing awareness once again to both sides of the body and the body breathing itself. Welcoming feelings that are present, maybe warmth or coolness, heaviness or lightness, tension or relaxation. Just noticing any feelings that are present in the body. If experiencing opposites, feel them together. Notice the effect this has on the body and mind. And allow any passing emotions or thoughts to come to your awareness, noticing where they are in the body. Where is that emotion felt in the body? And can you find an opposite and notice where it's felt in the body? Sensing opposites together. Attentive to that sense of awareness or being that you also are. That background of awareness that's unchanging, even as these changing feelings, emotions, or thoughts come and go. Falling back into that awareness, that unchanging awareness that you also are. And allow sensations of joy to be in the body. Feeling sensations of joy and happiness spreading from the smile of the heart throughout the entire body. Sensing joy, happiness, and bliss throughout the entire body. Sensing all that is now present in awareness. Sensing the unchanging feeling of being that you also are, in which all these changing sensations are coming and going. Feeling into the center of being, feeling into the outer boundary or periphery of being, sensing your way, being, awareness, in which all sensations are coming and going, being pure presence, awake and aware of itself and everything just as it is. Reflecting now upon the journey you've just taken, sensing the changing perceptions that have been present, sensations, feelings, emotions, thoughts, joy, and the ever present feeling of being. Perhaps welcoming and affirming again your deepest heartfelt mission and your intention for this or your next practice, noticing how it may have changed. affirming how the feeling being is always present, even now. Deep, unchanging peace, underlying every changing circumstance, always present, in which you can deeply relax and feel at home and at ease. Sensing your body, the room around you, imagining going about your waking life, yet all the while awake and aware as being in which all of life is unfolding. Understanding the simple truth that you always have the perfect response within you to every circumstance, every situation in your life. Just take time to sense your deepest knowing. And when you feel complete and ready, transitioning back into your waking life, grateful for taking this time for yourself, body fully awakening, eyes blinking open as you're ready, alert wakefulness, reorienting to your surroundings, to where you are and where you're now going, coming fully back as you're ready. Grateful for taking this time for yourself and for the unchanging being that you always are. No hurry. Take all the time you need.